What's up guys, my name is Robert Rushing and today we're going to be doing an exciting review of the Bentley Continental GTC. This vehicle is insane. We're going to talk about the external design, we're going to get inside, show you all the luxurious qualities and features of this car. We're going to take it on the road and then I'm going to explain to you how you can get behind the wheel for yourself. So without further ado, let's get into the review. This Bentley is brought to you by MPH Club. We are the source for luxury and exotic vehicles located in South Florida, although we offer vehicle shipping and delivery, so we can bring cars like this or any of the exotics you see behind me straight to your front door anywhere in the US. Now, onto the review. The Bentley GTC comes in two engine configurations. There is the V8 or the W12. Our version today is the V8, and there is a lot to talk about. One of the first features you're going to notice are these gorgeous headlights. Now these are matrix LED headlights, and when you look into the housing of the light itself, it'll look like this crystalline chandelier design. It's beautiful and it screams opulence and luxury even from a distance. Now this is the facelift version of the Bentley GTC, which means the front grille has been updated. Now this giant chrome grille up front sticks out, stands out, screams Bentley. And then these ones down here have been blacked out, which is an additional option that our version has. Now, the next thing we should talk about for the exterior of the car are the beautiful body lines of this car. Now there are two main creases, body lines that are breathtaking on this car. They start here right behind the headlamps and they carry down all the way until this top line seems to end right at where the windowsill starts. But what's beautiful is you'll notice as you carry down this line, it reappears right here on the back hatch panel where the soft top roof is stored. Now, the other line carries out onto the door and doesn't end until it meets this point where this tangent body line meets it and curves down the rear quarter panel. This line is so defined and what makes the GTC really stand out from a distance. It's a beautiful body line. Now from this angle you might see the two 20-inch wheels in the front and the back, and what might stand out to you more are how massive the brakes are. The calipers, the brake disc, everything about this car screams stopping power, which is needed because this vehicle can approach 220 miles per hour. This car's performance is insane, and you would never expect a car that's this luxurious with this many premium materials to go that fast, but it does. Let's move on to the rear of the car now. So another way to tell the difference between the V8 and the W12 version of this car are the tailpipes. In the exhaust, you'll see our version has two double exhaust points, so like a quad exhaust system is how it appears. However, the W12 has two main large ovals. So that's one way you can tell from a distance whether this is one version or the other of the Bentley GTC. Another really interesting design choice is in the taillights. It's the same crystalline chandelier design that you saw in the front headlights. This is a detail you might not recognize until you get really up close and personal. Looking at the real fine details of this light, it's beautiful. So now we're going to go into the interior of the car and talk about all of the premium materials and what it's like to drive the Bentley Continental GTC. Every surface of the Bentley GTC is wrapped in some sort of premium material. Our version comes in a two-toned saddle brown and black leather trim with this gorgeous wooden mahogany detailing throughout the front dash, which carries over to the door panels. Now when you're looking at the center console, you see a lot of buttons, a lot of different AC controls, but don't get overwhelmed. As soon as you study the buttons and how it looks and the symbols, it's very self-explanatory. Now there are a few features of this car that are not so obvious that I'm going to be going over in this video right after I tell you a little more about how to operate it. This is your drive mode selector right in the middle. This is the same button you use to turn the car on. You'll rotate to toggle through the different modes of the car. Now I will tell you, it is very entertaining to put it in sport mode because you can literally hear the exhaust note open. It's a really deep tone, and like we showed you already, this car sounds incredible. The exhaust is great. There's even some low bass note crackles in the exhaust. maybe gurgles is a better word. It sounds classy, and it sounds and feels as powerful as it actually is. 626 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers are nothing to scoff at. Now, around this same button, the drive mode shifter, you're gonna see this similar crystal design that is reminiscent of how the headlights look, of how the taillights look. It's here as well, and on these two miniature screens, which are your AC controls for the passenger side and the driver's side. All you do is you'll rotate this left and right to select your temperature and to select your fan speed. Now, something to note, if you have engaged AC Max and this light is on for the AC Max button, this does not do anything. You are locked into maximum AC, which is the lowest temperature, and the highest fan setting. So if you do want to adjust it, you do need to turn that button off. Features of the car you might not know are there are massage seats, and not to understate how amazing these massages are, there's 5 different types of massages to pick from and 5 different levels of intensity. So that means there is 25 different versions and intensities of different massages you can get in this car. So that's kind of amazing right off the bat. Another cool feature you might not know exists is an air scarf. So when you turn on heated seats on your screen, it does show where you want your seat to be heated, as well as an armrest button, which will heat your armrest. There's also a way you can heat the steering wheel, and there's a separate button below it that shows you this vent on the seat itself. So it's not something that we're gonna use in Florida that often, but if you do live somewhere where it's cold and chilly, but you still wanna experience the top down, this feature is so cool. It literally blows hot air on the back of your neck and down your shoulders and feels like you're wearing a scarf. It's awesome. It's not a feature I thought I wanted, but now that I know I have it, I love it. Also, the sound system in the Bentley GTC is incredible. I would show you in this review. However, it would take copyrighted music to show you the quality, and we can't risk that on the channel. So you're gonna have to take my word for it or rent it for yourself. The sound system in the Bentley is incredible. Now, like I said earlier, all of the materials are covered in something premium. However, the steering wheel feels a lot more sporty than luxurious. The steering wheel can be heated if you turn that feature on in the settings in the main digital display here. There's also a lot of controls on the steering wheel itself. Now, like I said earlier, this is not the same leather you find throughout the rest of the car. This does feel more sporty. Literally, when you're holding it, it feels new and sporty, and I love it. It's just a little different from the rest of the car. You'll probably notice it when you get behind the wheel for yourself. Another cool feature to note is this analog clock on the dash. It's really classy. A lot of the really higher end luxury cars do something like this, like the Rolls Royces, for example, and Bentley is no different. Another similar design feature are the AC controls. So these vents are heavy, it's real metal, and to turn the vent on and off is a pushing of this like organ cord panel. So you'll push and pull to open and close this AC valve. I think that about wraps up all of the cool features of this car. Next up, we should take this on the road and tell you what it's like to drive and how it feels. Let's go. We're on the road right now in the Bentley GTC, and it is way more sporty than the car looks from the outside. From the outside, frankly, it looks like a nice, slow, luxurious, heavy vehicle, and it has no business being this responsive and having this much throttle and power and torque. It's nuts. If I step on the gas pedal right now, we're literally gonna fly. And what's crazy is it's like linear power all the way through. So as soon as you start, it's a slow takeoff and you have this instant power. It's not like some of the more sports cars, you'll feel a lot more power in the lower end, and some of the higher exotics, you'll feel it in the upper RPMs, but as you cycle through the gears in this car, it's like static, raw power. It's awesome. It's built to be a true English grand touring vehicle. Imagine the manufacturer pictured the client strolling through the mountains in England, taking long road trips at a time, and this will get you there quickly and comfortably. So it does exactly what it's meant to do. We're driving around right now in the executive airport, so I'm not going to be flying at the ridiculous 220 top speed this car has. We're going to be cruising like the Bentley was meant to be driven. It's relaxing, it's smooth, it really is in that upper epsilon of like, it's in the Rolls Royce tier of vehicle. And there are active dampeners on the suspension system. So any road, bump, debris, anything you could go over that might cause you to like jerk or bounce or move, the suspension system is compensating for. Now we're taking this corner. I'll speed up on this corner because I want to point something out about the handling. So around shorter turns, the handling is really, really light. Like it feels like you're floating. Like you can really drive this whole car with just like your pinky finger. It takes minimal effort and energy to steer and handle this car. However, when you take sharper turns, like a 90-degree or further, it does get a lot stiffer and it feels sportier. Like when you take harder turns and the steering column is rotated more dramatically, the handling gets stiffer. And it just reminds you of how sporty this car is when you're driving a little more aggressively. Now when you're just touring on long straights with minimal curves, it's as light as a feather. But the power is there as soon as you want it or need it. What we're gonna do now is I'm literally gonna start from 0 to 60 and just see how long it takes, see what it feels like, how that power is distributed. We are in sport mode on the drive selector, so 3, 2, 1. This car has no business producing this much power. It's ridiculous. Now I will say, this car is not as aggressive or crazy looking on the exterior as some of our other sports cars, but it does perform on a similar level. Maybe to somebody in their early 20s, they might go for something like the Lamborghini or the Ferrari, but someone maybe in their early 30s might pick something like this. It's more refined, it's sleek, and it has everything you need. Okay guys, this is gonna complete our review of the Bentley GTC. This 4-seater convertible is a blast to drive. It's insanely luxurious. It's really smooth on the road and it is insanely fast. Now, if you want to get behind the wheel for yourself, all you have to do is reach out to MPH Club and we're going to put you behind the wheel. We do offer vehicle delivery so we can get this car shipped to you wherever you are in the nation. Now, rates do vary based on where you're located. All you got to do is call us to find out exactly how much it's going to cost to ship you a vehicle. If you like this type of content, guys, please give us a thumbs up. It helps the growth of our channel a lot. Comment down below what car in the fleet you'd like to see us review next, and I'll see you in the next video.